What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Thanks for joining us for episode 27 of State of Affairs today. Joined by my co-host, SW. How are you doing today, man?
Doing pretty good.
Nice, nice. Same here, man. Yeah, we're gonna kind of diverge from the normal today of kind of covering random news stories. I wanted to take a look at not the entire Piers Morgan Nick Fuentes interview, but there was about a 7 minute um, time span where they were talking about gender issues and Piers insinuating Nick is gay and just kind of the normal lines of attack that simps do, and it really gets into Piers being a simp, and it more tackles like what we talk about on this show. So the whole interview I think is amazing. I suggest everybody go watch it. It's hysterical. Piers looks like a fool, but this 6 minutes is it's pretty good on the gender stuff, and it yeah, let's just jump into it. I'm pretty stoked to kind of get into that
I've
part.
seen it covered, but I haven't like really watched it.
Yeah, yeah, it's you should check out the whole thing. I mean, it's actually I honestly think it's one of the best interviews that Nick has done, period. Like it was so contentious, and a lot of times with these interviews people talk to Nick and like the Crowder
Well,
interview is a
it's
perfect example. They
I haven't
Crowder.
even seen that yet.
Oh, okay. Well, Crowder tries to play nice with Nick basically, and they have a good
Okay.
convo. They find points of agreement and stuff, but rarely do you get like these hostile
Yeah, I was gonna
mainstream
say
media interviews.
like the Red Scare girls, they
Hmm.
were they couldn't have been nicer. And like it was funny. I think I like texted you after that. I was like, I think he came out of that. I for the record, I only think I watched the first like half of it. I
Uh-huh.
was like, I think Dasha got dropped by her agency because he came out so good in that
Yeah,
interview.
exactly, exactly.
And
Yeah,
they didn't
that's
hammer him, like it was civil, like
well, I mean, even though I have my complaints about Tucker and he's completely stabbed Nick in the back after the interview, but the same thing happened to Tucker. He actually didn't push back enough for the liking of a lot of these like Jewish organizations and conservative orgs. So I mean, even the Tucker thing is similar to that. But the Piers one is it's so reminiscent of like a previous era of interviews, like these hostile, like I'm gonna like it reminds
from
me
what
of
I've
the
seen, it's like the Jon Stewart parody interviews.
yeah, or it reminds me of the Piers Morgan interview he did with Ben Shapiro years ago, where he was like trying
Didn't he
to
have one with Alex Jones many years ago? Oh yeah, this
same one. It's
7076 will
yeah, yeah,
commence
it's the
again.
17
That's
exactly.
right. It was I
That was
completely had
Piers.
memory hold. It was Piers.
That was Piers, and he did the same thing with Ben Shapiro. So it has like it kind of has a nostalgic feel to the era before alternative media became prominent, and it's like this very contentious like oh well here's a clip of you saying that you don't like black people, are you racist? It's like very it's that kind of stuff, but yeah, I suggest everybody go watch it. It's probably my favorite interview that Nick has done up to this point. um but yeah, I mean the gender stuff is perfect for what we talk about, so um I didn't really think it would be useful to cover the entire interview. One, it would take too long, and two, this is really the meat of kind of what we talk about on this show. So uh, let me make sure I'm sharing. Boom, boom, bing, bong, bing. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right. Can you see my screen okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, there is a where does it start? What's he talking about? And if you can't hear it, just let me know and I'll fix the sound, but we should be good.
In 100 years, my ancestors, your kids who are so empathetic and compassionate, they're going to be a minority. They're going to be a minority in maybe a Muslim country, an Indian country, an Hispanic country. And these Jewish people that are 100 years old talking about my grandparents and the Holocaust, they don't care about that. Actually, they like to see it. At the SPLC, they're literally
I mean, this is such a good rant here. It's like
It is.
I want to comment on this, but it's like it's already going to be done to death. So like, I wanted to hone in on the parts that are like specific to what we talk about, but I could easily just go on a rant for an hour about like
Well, the Holocaust
this is
survivor
fire.
thing's like funny in a lot of ways because
So
like
Okay, dude, if you watch the interview, you gotta watch it. So what Piers does is basically Nick makes the claim that the Holocaust is used as a moral bludgeon against Christian people and white people as a
That
reason.
doesn't jive with the boomer brain.
It doesn't. And Piers says, "Oh, that's a load of hogwash. Jewish people do not use the Holocaust for their own purposes." Literally three
It's an
minutes.
entire industry.
Oh, no, no, no. 3 minutes later, Piers brings on a Jewish guy, a clip that a Jewish guy filmed for him to talk to Nick about the Holocaust and talk about how his parents were both killed at Auschwitz and used that as a way to to shame Nick. So in one breath, he says Jews definitely do not do that. But here's a 3 minute video that my Jewish friend recorded, and I'm not kidding. He literally, where you see Nick on the screen right now, he puts up a video of a Jewish guy recording a video from his phone talking about how his parents died in the Holocaust and uses that to shame Nick. So in the same breath of saying, they don't do that. What are you talking about? That's a load of crap. He literally does it 3 minutes later. So yeah, you're 100% right. Of course
Well,
that's
I made a
ridiculous.
joke a while back about how like when these Jewish boomers reach like age 90, are they going to be doing like the stolen valor thing
Oh, of course.
where they're
Of
going to be
course
like,
they will.
"Oh, they're going to get the tattoos on their arms and
Of
be like,
course.
I was there even though I was born in 1955."
Of course they will. And really what they do is they really use the term survivor very loosely. So like
It's
basically
like
if
the
it,
Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
exactly where he wrote the lotto numbers on his arm exactly. And yeah, I mean they use the term survivor very loosely. Basically if a Jewish person was alive during World War II but was 6,000 miles away from the Holocaust, they say they were a survivor, basically. They say, I survived it because I could have been rounded up in that. It's like, okay, survivor implies like a 9/11 survivor and you got out of the building before it collapsed. Like, I wouldn't call myself being born and raised in Dallas a 9/11 survivor because it happened to be a tragic day. Like, so they completely abuse the terms. But yeah, I'm just playing this to so you can see the lead up to the gender thing because he flips a switch. Nick is going on this rant. Piers can tell he's getting freaking mogged. And then he just switches it up to like, are you gay? Basically.
Literally
Oh, that's
counting
funny.
down the days until whites are a minority in America. So forgive me if I don't believe them when they talk about compassion. There's a genocide going on right now. It's not against
How
the
many
Jews.
Christians are
It's
there?
Gaza, it's
How
against
many
whites.
Christians are there in the world? Like me and
One
you.
point some billion,
Yeah.
2 billion, I don't know.
How many Jews are there?
15 million.
Okay. So with a straight face, you're going to tell me the world is being overrun by the Jewry, by 15 million people, when there are over 1 billion Christians. There is a genocide of Christians like poor old Nick Fuentes going on at the hands of these 15 million Jews. Really?
See, this attitude is why
And
you're
see, yeah.
losing. When you say
Who am
He's
I
being
losing
white
obtuse
to?
on
people,
Who
purpose.
am I?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also the tone. It reminds me of that tone that Trump had. I'm not trying to go too off the rails here, but it reminds me of the tone that Trump had when he was talking about how there's no talent among the workers in America, where he was just dismissive of the workers and was like, "We don't have the talent. There's no talent here." Piers is going, "Oh, poor old Nick Fuentes being persecuted." It's like, yeah, dude, that whole facade, that approach is why people are not really listening to you anymore. And yeah, you're right. He's being completely obtuse. I know. Like, oh, well, how could 15 million people ever do anything? They're a country the size of New Jersey. It's like, okay, either you're stupid or you're evil, and I'm leaning towards the evil one.
Yeah, and he's framing it in such a deliberately stupid manner. So it's basically like what Nick's saying is complete. He's how do I phrase that? He's trying to put words in Nick's mouth where he's gonna do like the movie caricature of a Nazi
Right,
and be
right,
like the Jews are doing this, and it's like no, he's speaking like Nick's speaking very generally,
exactly.
and he's talking about the uses of stuff like immigration and
Right, right,
like in other subversive ways.
right. And it's just this completely obtuse approach from Pierce. He's like, well, what do you mean? There's only 15 million of them. It's like that's really not the
But
point
it's
at
the
all.
meme of libtards pretend you can't argue with them because they're just going to pretend like they don't know the basic framework of anything.
Exactly, exactly. They just play dumb. It's literally what's going on here.
Am I
Poor
losing
old
to?
white people.
Who am I losing
You're
to?
seeing it. Mass
This
migration.
is funny.
Oh, you're losing to me. We are losing as a civilization of mass migration. And here's the difference. In Israel,
Iconic line right there. Nick doesn't realize that Piers is saying, "Who am I losing to?" Nick is thinking he's saying, "Who is the country? How is the country worse with immigration? Like, how are you losing?" But he's asking like, "Who am I losing to?" And Nick's like, "Oh, you're losing to me."
Yeah,
2 billion. I don't know.
How many Jews are there?
15 million.
Okay. So
This is pretty good.
with a straight face, you're going to tell me the world is being overrun by the Jewry, by 15 million people, when there are over 1 billion Christians. There is a genocide of Christians like poor old Nick Fuentes going on at the hands of these 15 million Jews. Really?
See, this attitude is why you're losing. When you say
Who am I losing
old
to?
white people,
Who
these
am I
poor
losing
old
to?
white people.
Who am I losing to?
You're seeing it. Mass migration. Oh, you're losing to me. We are losing as a civilization of mass migration. And here's the difference. In Israel, they have my politics. In Israel, they want to maintain a Jewish majority. If they had it their way, it would only be Jewish people. They're fighting like hell so that Jewish people can have as much territory, a Jewish state. They can be proudly Jewish in their own land. Whereas in America, we are being besieged by 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. And then whites and Christians are going to be the minority. And that's true in Canada, Australia, all the countries in Europe. So you could say there's 2 billion people, but what's the proportionality?
Right.
What is the percentage of people being born that are white? Where's the arrow pointing? Where are we going to be in 50 years? In 50 years, there might be an Israel. In 50 years, there isn't going to be a white Christendom.
You don't believe people should get married, right?
Here we go.
What?
I think people should get married. I'm a Christian.
He threw in the towel.
Yeah,
He literally threw in the towel. That was
Yeah.
he had nothing to respond to that.
So yeah, I mean, whenever these people start losing, they go from the very general to the very particular. So Nick is just like mogging him about immigration, about birth rates, about Jewish influence, and all that. And all Piers can really do is say like, "Well, what about you? You're not married, are you?" It's like, I don't think Nick Fuentes being married and popping out, and Nick Fuentes' wife popping out 3 kids is exactly going to move the needle of white genocide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it really is like he couldn't even wait. He was just like, shit, I gotta.
Right.
Let me just pivot to the cheap pop.
Exactly. And I feel like they always keep that. It's not really an ace up their sleeve, but they think it's an ace up their sleeve to be like,
Well, I've noticed so it's funny on the Instagram algorithm. I saw it was some liberal account being like, "Did you guys know Nick hung out with this guy named Catboy Cammy?" And it's like that is like 10-year-old news.
that's
And
10-year-old lore. Yeah.
And like all these people were just like, and it was funny because I saw like a bunch of random accounts that I follow liking it, and it's like people like our age treating him as like the boogeyman is so boomery.
It is. It is.
It's so cringe and boomery that it's like because they buy into this stuff that he's like the face of ever. Like, I don't. Here's the thing: he has a lot of great points. He has a good following, but like they buy into this thing that he's like got a bigger following than Alex Jones or like something like that.
Right.
Where it's
right.
like that level of like. But even so, it's just like the libs are always stuck in the cuck chair. Like, doesn't matter how much power they have, they still have to create like a fake boogeyman.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the man they're fighting.
It's so funny because it's such a lack of it's almost like a lack of agency because like when I hear people my age say stuff like that, like if I talk about Nick Fuentes to people that I know or something, and they're like a total shit lib or something, and they're like, he is a disgusting homophobic, xenophobic. It's like, but do you really believe that? Or are you just like,
exactly.
And I know it sounds trite. It's like they just repeat what they hear on the news.
But it's true.
But it is true. It's like,
very true.
Like, really internalize it. Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that he is a xenophobic, not the like you don't actually believe that. You're just saying things.
Well,
You're
and
just
here's the thing,
saying
though.
that.
Like, even if he is, don't watch his show.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that
That's what
goes,
I always
yeah,
think's like really
100%.
funny is like with stuff like that where it's just like these libs like I've never said like I hate Hassan, but I
Uh-huh.
would never just be like like but guess what? I never watch his show. Like I
Right.
see clips, but like I'm not like frothing at the mouth and screaming about all these
Well,
bad things
what
and
I
just
think,
being like he needs to be shut down. He's and I don't like subscribe him as he's the true leader of the left.
right. Well, I think what scares a lot of people who talk like that, what scares a lot of people about Nick, I think they see the potential. I think they hear him talk and they're afraid because they hear him talk, they hear the delivery, they see that he's funny, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is the future of the right wing." And in that sense, I do think they're right to an extent. Like, I agree with you. Like, how it's not like he's a household name right now. You know what I mean? Like to that extent,
Yeah.
you're right. But I do think they are kind of onto something in the sense that like liberals are good at kind of noticing the trajectory of the right wing. And I think they see that the right wing is aligning itself more with Nick than with like Ben Shapiro. And I think that does terrify them. So in that sense, I do think that they're kind of right to be crying wolf, basically. But it's still ridiculous. And like at the end of the day, my thing is just like Nick is right. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
love him, hate him. I just think he's like that rant he just had right there. I just think
Well,
that's
here's the thing,
objectively
like
correct.
even stuff I disagree with him on, I don't like hate him. It's not, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and this is gonna sound so cornball and centrist, but it's like one problem of life becoming overly political around 2015 is that like you can't just be like, yeah, I like some stuff Nick says, but without someone being like, oh, what's your gripe or Twitter? And it's like, yeah, it's just like, shut up. Like, I
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
see
I
a
know what you
clip
mean.
and agree with him, and that doesn't mean I'm some full blown griper. Like, not
See, I,
I'm not trying to shit on it or anything.
you're going Seinfeld mode. Not that there's anything wrong with being a groiper. But I know what you mean, though.
It's
I
just like
get you.
it's you should and like I was gonna say there. I was gonna think of a left wing commentator who says something I like, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's like I'm, I'm full blown black groiper over here, and I'm just like I'm just nodding along. I'm like, yeah, he's just correct. Like I think people spend so much time trying to explain away his influence and go, well, he's on like Megan Kelly and Tucker have been doing this bit for the past couple weeks where they're like, look, I understand why young, disenfranchised, angry men would listen to this horrible person. For me, I'm like, I mean, I'm angry about the state of the world, but I'm not particularly disenfranchised. I'm not you know, living in a rundown town and there's no jobs and all I got is my alcohol and my gambling. It's like,
You're not living Hickman's life.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's like I'm really not what they're describing, and I find myself just like agreeing with like 99.8%, maybe well, we'll just say we'll round it to an even 100, agreeing with what 100% of what Nick has to say. So, um, yeah, but it is funny though how Piers just completely lost and he had to flip it to the last thing he asked is, "You're not married, are you?" Obviously, he knew the answer to that question, but it's like
And and like he can't even be subtle. He's giddy
I
to
do want
basically just like he knows where he's going. He like almost can't even control himself.
right, and I did want to kind of touch on this really. Here, let's play a little bit more, and I'll go into this part in a second.
But you're basically anti-marriage, really. You've talked about this. You're talking about
Are we done talking about why genocide
Well,
and
no,
we're on the marriage
I'm
now?
coming to the same part.
Like you just said, Nick's like, wait, so I owned you too hard, and now we're moving into my sex life, basically.
Because you seem very resistant to the idea of marriage. You've never got married. You've talked very scathingly about henpecked husbands. Just take a look.
That's true.
Guys, get
And he already had the clip ready. You know what I mean? He's
Oh yeah. Well,
like he,
also it's like you talk scathingly about henpecked husbands. Yeah, because it's a bad thing.
oh well, okay, let's just jump into this then. I'm going to surprise you with some info you haven't seen. So this will be funny. Can't wait to get your reaction on this. So Piers Morgan is complaining that Nick is talking about hen-pecked husbands. And it kind of begs the question, it's like, why does he care so much? Because when you watch this segment, he's much more angry that Nick is a misogynist than he is that Nick is a racist or even an anti-Semite. And it kind of begs the question, it's like, why are you so upset about this? It's because it hits close to home for Pierce. So this is his wife's Instagram. This is from Wurzelroot. Love his account. Everybody go follow him. It says her Instagram is fucking wild. LMAO. Read the descriptions. I had no clue bro was this cucked. LMAO. Crazy way to start bringing up people's families when this is your wife. Didn't take your last name. Look at.
Oof.
So here she is with Lenny Kravitz.
What?
Uh, so she's here hanging out with Lenny Kravitz. The caption is brilliant memoir. The thing's covering it. There we go. Oops. Reading Lenny's brilliant memoir and thinking back to sunny Saturday in Paris, he'd taken a 3-year vow of abstinence at the time. So this is her hanging while she's married to Piers, by the way.
Why
This is
bring
her,
up the abstinence thing unless it's like, did he
unless,
break that three
yeah,
years with her?
exactly. Like, why would you bring that up unless he like slept with you? You know what I mean? So I got him to break his vow of abstinence. Damn, tough life for Piers. Okay, so that's just one right there. We got her with some guy, him too. Catherine and I get all handsy at our Christmas party. This is 2019, still married to Piers. This one is the crazy one. Get this out of the way. Okay. When
Yeah,
the
why?
hus
Like some random guy.
when the husband's away, Mr. Suds comes to play. This is like her pool boy. And you can
Do you think
tell
that's an
that
actual picture she took, or do you think
because look at what you
she
get on the
just
next
pulled?
one.
Oh, damn!
Wanted, pool boy, no experience needed. Applications now open. This is 2022.
Can you
Still,
imagine a married guy posting that?
I mean, that'd be kind of well, not based, but it would be less humiliating than your wife posting it. I'll put it that way.
It like what would be looking for a cute nanny
Hmm.
application? Give me your applications if your cute girl wants to be my nanny.
So then you also have her talking about this Piers Morgan's wife. I wear the trousers. Celia Walden on Good Morning Britain Star. Piers Morgan's life stories is back as a host. Piers Morgan life stories is back as a host of celebrities open up about their personal lives. Piers's wife has often spoken about life with the ITV Good Morning Britain star, confessing she believes she wears the trousers. Speaking on Good Morning Britain in May of 2018, she responded to the question of whether she wore the trousers in their relationship, saying, yes, I think so. I think women are always quietly in charge. I just think it's best to let the men think they are. Piers Morgan's wife took a break from marriage, a 6-week sabbatical.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not sure what year this is.
Who
Piers
on?
admitted that Celia has forgotten their anniversary every single year since they tied the knot in
She
2010.
hasn't. It's performative.
Speaking on ITV's Lorraine, he revealed she's just forgotten it for 9 consecutive years. It's like I'm not in her airspace at all. So, like, dude, this is what we're working with here. This is why he's so upset that Nick is not husband guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Upon researching Piers's wife, his wife clearly hates him and fucks other men. I don't know if anyone can deny this. It's every interview. I couldn't find her saying anything positive about him. He bribed her with gifts and wore her down, according to her. Being married to Piers is basically one very long eye roll. But what people don't realize about Piers is that he's usually very quiet at home because he's exhausted himself, blah, blah, blah. This is the only reason I'm sad about him leaving GMB, Good Morning Britain. Well, that and the fact I wake up and there he is staring back at me morning after morning. This is very Aisha Curry coded. This is very like, I hate my husband. I resent him for being famous. I should be the famous one. Like, it's all there. Um, Celia, I had a friend who had a crush on Piers. We arranged to meet. He kept saying, yeah, there are a few things. I don't care about that. And it's weird because she said, and I said, well, that's weird because you don't tick any of my boxes. And now look at me, cue a resigned sigh. Following their first boozy lunch at legendary London Hot the Ivy, Salman Rushdie was in one corner of the restaurant, Margaret Thatcher in the other. Piers ramped up the chase after the interview. Oh, okay. So she's describing the story of how he wore her down. After the interview, the former Sun man and Fleet Street's youngest ever editor, age 28, began with the gifts. And yeah, that's all he really had to offer was just like showering her with gifts
You think he could
and
find
wearing her
someone?
down.
He could find someone a lot. I mean, I'm looking at some pictures of her. She's not bad looking, but
No, no,
like
no, she's not.
when she was younger, but like, he could have maybe found some girl in LA that, or some New York or LA girl who would go for it.
But see, that kind of gets into the pathology of this kind of person who is the wife guy. It gets into the pathology of the wife guy because, people like you and I think and even when we talked about this with JF months ago, our pathology, our mindset is something like I have something to offer and like I can search for a good woman. I don't need to settle down. I don't need to call it quits. I don't need to like go into anything that I'm not ready for or whatever. Basically, like it's resource abundance mentality and like, oh, well, if I don't get her, then women are the
Or
famous
also, I'm not
phrases.
going to degrade myself
Exactly. And
to turn into this
the famous
caricature.
the famous phrase is women are like buses. If you miss one, another one will come in 5 minutes. That's largely true. The idea that like husbands should be this like I put my eyes on her and she was the only one that I ever wanted. It's like, look, man, we're guys. We can be honest. I'm married. I love my wife, but like the idea that like I'm just sitting around with hard eyes, just like staring at her all day is ridiculous. And that's what Piers is. He has an issue with people who don't share that pathology. And I mean, look at Piers. He's not, I wouldn't call him ugly, but he's overweight. He's older. He's not like a heartthrob. And it's probably been that way for most of his life, where he was kind of a nerd or wasn't the most attractive or whatever. And that mentality carries over well into late adulthood. That's why it's really comes down to if you were a Chad in high school, you will be a Chad for the rest of your life, basically. So yeah, I just it's just funny that Pierce is he's that guy, and it makes sense that like Nick's takes bother him. Nick's gender takes bother him. You know what I mean? Let's go back a little bit.
Marriage, really. You've talked about this. You've talked about.
Are we done talking about white genocide?
Well,
And
no,
we're on to marriage now?
I'm coming to the same part because you seem very resistant to the idea of marriage. You've never got married. You've talked very scathing.
I love that he also doesn't even tie this in. He doesn't even make an attempt
He
to
doesn't
like
even
tie it in.
like he doesn't even pull the, oh, you're just being ridiculous. Well, I want to move on to another topic
Exactly.
because he would have, because at that point it would be a concession. He
Or
thinks if he does the swift topic change, it the idiots who watch it are going to be like, oh, he owned them, because they're just going to forget because they have no attention span.
right. And all he really would have had to do, I mean, if he was like an online person, if he had like the chops to do this, all he really had to do to tie it in together was be like, well, you're concerned about birth rates, but you're not married, so you're not even like that's the common parlay into this is like, well, if I'm getting owned on birth rates and white genocide, let's say, then let me talk to that person about how they're not married, or if they only have one kid, well, that's below replacement rate, so you're not doing like, but he didn't even do that. Like he doesn't even understand that he could have tied those two together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he just jumps into this. It's very sloppy and ham-fisted.
About henpecked husbands. Just take a look.
How he says henpecked husbands. He knows that that's him. He knows internally that he
He
is
could have
the
picked
guy.
he should have done air quotes, because now it just looks like he's defending it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, right. He could say, well, you say they're henpecked, but they just love their wives. It's like, nigga, you you are the henpecked husband. You identify with that.
That's true. Guys get to a certain age and they're like, you know what? Women suck. Like they're talking too much. They're not hot anymore. Like you're fat, you're chubby, you're not as hot as you think you are. You fucking talk too much. You're a bitch.
So we'll obviously get to the
Shop Specs,
Banger.
Texas'
Fucking
largest
ads,
selection
bro.
of holiday cheer. Here.
Ads. Ads. Oh my gosh, dude. Sorry. Okay.
brazen
Preach.
misogyny part of that. I'm just
Crazy
curious.
misogyny.
On the one hand, there's this terrible genocide going on of white people.
Oh, okay.
On the other hand, you want people effectively to stop going near women because they all turn out to be so ghastly. So they shouldn't presumably procreate. So how does that work? I mean, aren't you, with your rhetoric, actively encouraging men not to associate with these ghastly women, therefore not have any more children? Therefore, you are contributing, Nick Fuentes, to the diminishing white population. I'm confused.
So yeah, before Nick answers, and I think Nick gives a really good response. I wanted your take on that. So I don't know that we've addressed this like directly, but like, what is your take kind of on the critique that like you have no right to complain about the erasure of white civilization if you yourself are not married with 15 kids? What do you
I
like?
think
What's
it's
your
I think it's stupid because well, it's just like the same thing of like you can't like you can't talk about marriage issues if you're not married. It's like, I mean, to an extent, I kind of would like maybe understand if someone's being stupid, but like it's basically saying ignore objective reality
Mhm.
because of some arbitrary requirement that's not really a requirement.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's
exactly.
only ever used, but the thing is, it's only ever used as a dismissive tactic.
Right. It's not like if Nick were married with like 10 kids, then he would be like the most famous right wing. It's like as if the only thing holding Nick back from being a household name on the right wing is if
He
only he got married. It's like, no, if he got married, there would be a new critique. You know what I mean?
Pierce is doing the thing that all wife guy cuck dudes do, where they're like, "Oh man, if you didn't say these bad things about women, maybe you have a wife."
Right.
And
Right.
it's
It's
like,
the same
oh,
thing.
it's like oh, just let it just let it go, man. Like you don't get
Right.
it. Like a
You'll
real
never
secure husband doesn't care about her roasty past.
a real husband buys her tampons from the gas station as she texts her the man she's cheating with, and she has a 30 body count. A real man doesn't care about that. It's like that's what Piers is doing here. And also the marriage critique thing, you're right. It's only a way to dismiss because what they're trying to do is get you to not look at the state of the world. They want you
It
they want you insularly
it's very similar. It's another thing that it's very
inwardly
similar.
focused. They want you
It's
inwardly
like
focused.
true, but it's also like with abortion, where they go, men can't have an opinion on abortion,
Hmm.
fine print, unless they're liberal pussies who like espouse it as like on the right side. So what it's basically it's not saying that you can't have an opinion. You're just not allowed to have a negative opinion.
Exactly, exactly. And it's also kind of ridiculous the idea that like it reminds me a lot of like the Jordan Peterson phenomenon when he was at his peak of like go clean your room, as if cleaning your room would change the state of society. So like if Nick gets married, or even let's say what if a and to be fair to Nick, he does tell his followers to get married, but Piers is focusing on Nick. If Nick got married, that doesn't change the state of white birth rates. That doesn't change the state of European civilization being overrun by Muslims. That doesn't change the fact that our State Department is run by Israel. Like, that doesn't change anything. And it's just a way to kind of throw you off track and make you self conscious about maybe your shortcomings, when in reality, it's not a shortcoming to not be married, especially with the state of gender relations today. That's not a shortcoming. And it's also ridiculous to say that the only way you can care about the state of the world is if like you're married and have kids. Like I always go back to the example of St. Thomas Aquinas. He's widely considered one of the smartest philosophers of all time. He's probably the most intelligent church doctor. He's called the angelic doctor for a reason. And it's like saying, well, if only Aquinas had been married and had six kids, then I would really take his writing seriously. And I'm not comparing Nick to Thomas Aquinas, but I am saying that like that's a ridiculous thing because some people are called to do, frankly, bigger things than being married. I'm sorry to the married guys who are listening to this. Being married is a life achievement, but it is not like inventing the V2 rocket. It is not like inventing the nuclear bomb. I'm sorry.
Well, that brings on a different problem or a different thing that we should probably talk about sometime about how, and it's a big problem on the right where a lot of there's a lot of the where a lot of how I describe it, their only accomplishment in life is being married,
Exactly. And Nick has talked about
and
this
it
also.
becomes really clear. It becomes really clear,
Right.
and
Right.
you're just and it's like the really and you know the exact type of post I'm talking about.
100%. Benny Johnson. Benny Johnson
Yeah,
does this all day.
or
Benny
what's his name, Harrison Smith.
Harrison, yeah. And I like Harrison. I like InfoWars. I like the team there and everything, but I completely know what you mean. The Harrison Smith, the Benny Johnson thing. Benny Johnson posts like once a day. Marry your high school sweetheart. Check. Have a couple kids. Check. Raise your kids. Check. This is all that's needed for a successful life. It's like, dude, you are setting the bar incredibly low and you have young men following you who are going to listen
And
to
that's the
that.
thing, they
And I'm
do that.
sorry. I'm sorry. That is not the, I'm sorry. It's not the highest achievement. It's
It's
not.
basically like this idea that you need to throw away any, like, it's not like saying share your hobbies with your kids. It's like you shouldn't have any hobbies.
No, your
It's
kids
just
are the
be a
hobby.
slave.
Your kids are your only hobby. Put away your put away that webcam, Jordan B. You're not a creator anymore. You got to go watch the kid. It's like, look, I love my daughter. I love my wife, but there are still other things that need to be done in this world. You know, somebody who I do have a lot of respect for is like Taylor Marshall. He's the Catholic uh Twitter cat. He's like a Catholic content creator, and he has a wife and he has eight kids. He doesn't pin all of his success in life on being married and having kids.
Matt
He is
Walsh, sorry, that's another one.
Matt Walsh, frankly, he's not as bad as Benny Johnson. I'll give him
He
that.
used to be.
He used to be. He used to be until he saw where the tide was turning. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just really, and I feel like it's just ripe for the picking for Catholic influencers because everybody's focused on birth rates right now. But basically, simply put, like there are still great things to achieve in life outside of just like having a kid. If I'm gonna be a little bit mean here, I'm gonna be a little mean. But like having a child is something that like 80 IQ black people do like 10 times in their life. Like they didn't have to achieve, they didn't have to get a 12-week
It's
certificate. They
like
didn't,
bare minimum,
it is bare minimum. It's like, yeah, you finished inside and you made it like that's a great thing. Have kids, but I'm saying that it's not this
you're not special for it.
you're not special. It's like, yeah, dude, pretty much everybody can procreate. Can you do something beyond that? And this whole line of conversation of like, well, you're not married, maybe you should get married and then you'll it's like, dude, some people are called to do different things and I
Please
will
be a cuck like me.
yeah, exactly. It's they want to drag you down to their level. That's what it is. It's anger from from not from married guys, from wife guys.
Which
And
there is a difference.
there's a difference
And
between
that's what, and see, the thing is, and see, that's funny because like insecure married guys who deep down think they might be gravitating towards wife guy will get very upset with this
mm-hmm.
because they feel like they're telling because they feel like they're being exposed even though they aren't a full one, but they
Right.
kind of have that feeling like. So that's why I always like it became a losing battle when I would make fun of wife guys. 'Cause I get a normal married dude like chiming in and it'd just be like, no, 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 like don't tell on
Exactly.
yourself, but you kind of are.
Right. Right. And yeah, there's a difference between married guys and wife guys in the same way there's a difference between the father of a daughter and girl dads. Um,
Exact. Oh God,
and I
yes.
think that that is a perfect analogy. My daughter's in the other room right now, and I love my daughter, obviously, but it's like I'm not a girl dad. I'm the father of a girl. I'm the father of a daughter. It's like, And I really can't stand that mindset of like, you've heard this a million times. You wouldn't say all those things about women if you had a daughter. Your thinking is going to change. It's like, if anything, since having a daughter, I'm like I am like
Yeah,
doubling down on what I believe about marriage and about women. It's
you're
like,
not counting down the days till you can do the prom picture where you're holding a shotgun next to the date,
no, no. And if I have to do that, that means I failed somewhere along the way as a father. If I have
or
to
it's
if I have to
ev-
threaten my daughter's future date with a shotgun, that means I did a bad job as a father.
it's such a that's like I'm glad you don't see it as much anymore, but it's so corny because it's just like it's just telling on yourself. Like, look at me, I'm a tough guy threatening this 17-year-old.
I can't stand that. It's so faux machismo, like I talked about in my last video. This fake machismo of I'm gonna beat the hell out of some 17-year-old who holds my
Whatever
daughter's
you do
hand.
to her, I'll do to you.
It's like, oh, so you wanted like anyway, I'm not gonna get graphic, but like you want to take him? Like, you know what I mean?
It feels very gay.
It feels gay. It does feel very gay. I'm gonna bend you over, boy. It's like, whoa, whoa. Okay.
There was a there's a hilarious meme I saved like years ago. It was like it was a bumper sticker out in the wild. I didn't see this, but somebody posted on Twitter, and it was like, "Don't you dare go after my daughter." And it was like dot dot dot, and on the bottom of the bumper sticker, like, come after or go after me, your closeted gay dad.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Many such cases with that, man. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely some gay undercurrent there, not gonna lie.
Or it's like it's that you have that, and then you have the weird the overprotective brother. That's another
Yeah, yeah.
archetype there.
The overprotective brother. Yeah. I feel like that's more defensible than the dad, honestly, but
I
I
don't
know
know. They both feel kind of incestuous
I
and
know
weird.
you're right. What was that post Radfem Hitler had a few months ago? She was
Was
like,
that the one where it's like the mom who wants to make out with her son, or
no,
like
no,
there's
she was
some
talking
really
about
unhinged one?
she was talking about the dads. She was like, the reason the dads don't want their daughters to go on dates is because they know that their daughter is too hot and would shut them down if he made an
Ooh,
incestuous advance
okay,
towards
that's
her.
a good one.
Radfem Hitler was onto something there. Go follow Hollow Earth Turf. RFH has some pretty funny content. But yeah, there is something like Freudian. There's something deep there.
My followers to get married all the time. I
Yeah, he
tell them
does.
that it's best for everybody to get married. And I think that's the only way that you can have sex. I think that's the only licit way as a Catholic,
Why
as you
don't
know,
you
to
get
have
married
sex
then?
is within marriage.
Why don't you get married?
I'll get married later. It's been difficult for me because people are shooting at me at my house. I don't know that I don't want to have kids and a wife. You know, my wife would be screaming about that. Me, you know, I have to be able to take risks and be able to say these things. It's difficult to bring a family into a life that's like that. But for my followers, I tell them to get married. But what's happening with women,
You literally
I'm
just
just
told
not.
your
Hold on, let's. So he's going to get into the more general, but um, he is right about that, though, man. I mean, like I can't really imagine from Nick's point
Well,
of
how old
view.
is he?
He's 27 or 28.
I mean, that's still pretty
That's
young.
still not.
I know
That's not that
a
crazy.
lot of people on trad Twitter would take very offense to that, but I really don't think there's anything wrong with getting married in your early 30s.
No, I agree. And all these people like Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Benny Johnson who are saying, get married young, get married young, get married
Like,
before
yes,
you can afford it.
if it works and it's the right thing, excellent. See,
Right,
I do it. I'm fair both ways on this, where I'm not gonna be like, oh, what are you doing? You're too young.
right,
But
right.
but at the same time, I'm not gonna browbeat someone who's like 30, who's 32. Granted, if you're a guy and you're getting married at 32, make sure she's at least like 27.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, obviously. Yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, all these people saying that stuff, the Benny Johnsons, Tucker, Candace, all of them got married well into their 30s. Like Benny Johnson, I think got married. Charlie Kirk, rest in peace. Charlie Kirk would always say that get married before you can afford it and get married young. Dude, he got married at 31 or 29 or 30. Candace got married at 30. Benny Johnson, I think the same thing. So they don't actually practice their own.
And they're not even pragmatic about how they preach it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
because it's like it's one of those things where, and I really liked. I think it was Marmot was like, because I think he said something about like how you, and kind of goes with what we were saying about like Nick and marriage and what you said about St. Thomas Aquinas, where it's like not some people just aren't gonna have kids, and I'm not gonna like, and this is where like these proud dad trademark really irk me because it's like
Hmm.
some people aren't bad because they didn't have kids. Granted, you don't
100%.
want it to be, you don't want it to happen on a large scale,
Right.
but there should be some acceptance on a small scale that it shouldn't be this big horrible thing where
Yeah,
sometimes it just doesn't. Where it's funny because it's like if you want people to just have kids in like a reckless way, you know who's doing that. There's already people doing that,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
and it's
There's
like so that's like it's I guess for better for lack of a better term, very brown coded.
it is. Yeah, yeah, just spray and pray. Just have as many kids as you can. It's like, dude, there are
Well,
already
also like the thing
parasites
is
doing
like
that.
you're being like a, and I mean this applies to you too, like being like a upstanding like suburban family in 2025, and especially like if you're white or like or
Or
you know what I
white
mean,
or white coated at the
white
very
coated,
least. Exactly.
you're under so much pressure.
Hmm.
You're under just between the tattletales, the boomers, like the teacher, the like the rainbow flag teachers, you're under like we've basically outlawed just normal half-ass parenting that
Yeah,
you
that's
used to be
true.
able to do where yeah,
Latchkey kid.
you might not be the greatest parent ever, but guess what? As long as your kid doesn't end up like dead in a ditch, addicted to drugs,
As long as your son doesn't end up behind bars and your daughter isn't on the
yeah,
pole.
it's a victory. It's a victory. And the problem is all these people will be like, well, if I have a kid, then he's gonna have to be he's gonna have to be do 1400 on his SATs,
Hmm.
and it's gone so parenting has turned into like it's gone the Asian way.
Parenting has become optimized, like sports have become optimized. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, exactly. You
there's like an
can't just like do
efficiency
it,
now. Yeah, yeah.
or it's just like, oh, your kid's a third string football player, even though he's on the team with all his friends, and he has a 2.8. Oh,
Exactly.
you failed. You're
Right,
no better
right.
than Shaniqua in
Then
the hood.
Shaniqua, right, right.
That
And
it's like it's so there's so much ridiculousness that's stigmatized,
right.
and it's funny too because it's just like it's almost like people are TV brained, like with like oh they have to do this, this, and this to go to college. It's like actually most colleges you can just get into,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it's the Asianification of parenting. That's 100% what's going on.
and then
And
you end up like that really ugly girl who's been making the rounds, the
what was
ugly
that?
Asian girl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Who
exactly. I've
I
been seeing
can't
that.
even go to a business function without being hit on for casual sex.
Right, right. Yeah, sexual market value flex, by the
Or
way.
you end up, or the Indian guy who was like, I was at a bar and I got offered cocaine by this guy who works at this company.
Right. Just can't be avoided. Yeah. And also, like, I don't think it can be understated the extent to which it would not be optimal for Nick to get married like right now. Like everybody wants him to and it's this weird like interest in his sex life. Basically, that's what people are interested in. And like he said, like he has people coming to try to kill him. Is that really the optimal situation right now while he's in the
Well,
thick of
it's
it?
somebody with a big platform with even milder politics than him just got
Oh,
murdered.
dude, exactly. I don't think I've told this story on stream before. I think I've talked about it on Twitter. But when I got married in 2023, um, BLM threatened to like harass and destroy my wedding. It was around the same time as I don't know if you remember this, the Montgomery boat brawl. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
Where the black people beat up the white people and black Twitter was like celebrating it.
the
I got
chair
a
throw.
the chair throw, exactly. I got a girl fired from her job. She was a nurse, and she was tweeting about how she wanted to hit her racist white patients with a chair. she was using the chair emoji weeks after the thing happened and everybody knew what that meant. It meant that she wanted to like kill her white patients with the chair. And I doxed her. I mean, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. I'm not upset about it, but it is what it is. I doxed her. She got fired from her job. BLM Twitter descended upon me, my Twitter account, my Facebook. They messed with our wedding registry, sent fake gifts, signed up for having sent fake gifts, left rude comments, you name it. They threatened to show up to my wedding like armed, basically, to the point where I told my family to make like, even though I wasn't super worried about it, I told them to make sure they're carrying at least, and they do
Yeah,
carry, and
it's
they showed up carrying to my weapon or to my wedding. The reason I bring that up is because I am but a speck of dust in the grander right wing sphere universe. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like a small node. You know what I mean? And I can't really even imagine like what that would look like for Nick Fuentes. Like his wedding location would absolutely get doxxed. His wife absolutely would get doxxed. Her family doxxed. Their lives probably ruined. Wedding, it could be firebombed. His wedding could be. Like, if I'm experiencing these things, getting married as Jordan B videos with 3,000 followers on Twitter, can you even imagine what that looks like for Nick Fuentes? So I can't fault him for being like, hey, it's not the time right now, you know?
it's exactly, and also it's like people have this like boomery idea of like just walk down to the store, hit on the cashier, and you'll be married in 6 months.
Dude, I really want to dispel people of that idea. That's not to say you cannot meet a woman, but this idea, and it's the same thing with boomers and finding a job. They think that if you walk into JP Morgan's main office in New York City and say,
You
I
just
want to,
have to do it tomorrow.
hey, I want to meet Jamie Dimon right now, and I'm not leaving until I shake the CEO's hand.
Look at the gumption on this
It's
kid. Give
like,
him a job.
and it's the same thing as just walk up to a girl at the bar. It's like, yeah, dude, then you're on TikTok. She's gonna film
Or
you.
it's like, okay, let's just not even do it the black pill way for a second. Well, let's say it works. Okay, so you do that on a Friday night. Then maybe you go for drinks if you're lucky within 7 days. That's if
Ghost.
you're lucky and there's no and you don't get ghosted, you
You're
don't
gonna
get rescheduled
ghost
on,
ghost
or
mode.
it's or like let's say okay, and we'll keep it positive.
Okay,
Okay,
all
so
right.
you get her number on Friday. And you go on a good date. It goes well on Wednesday.
By the way,
Then
there are multiple steps within this thing that just go completely south.
exactly
There are like a
I'm
hundred
doing it
different
in
things.
like the most, I'm explaining it in like the most, like, this is no
Like it's
flaws,
like
your
it's still
luckiest scenario.
you're talking like 2010 dynamics,
This,
2010,
well,
like
this is almost like bowling a 300.
yes, okay, I'm listening.
So it's like and this is the best case scenario. So then you go out, then you go out again, then you go out again, and then you kind of see again. So this is a multi-month process. And then maybe it doesn't work out. Okay, then you're back to square one. So you do that 5 times in a year. That's a year. And that's even just like the optimistic version. So if you go through like five,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't want to say situationship because I hate that word,
Yeah, but I know
but
what you
like, let's
mean.
say you even do, maybe you hook up, but like you go on a couple dates. The idea that you can just meet someone, go on one date, and then you're dating is just,
No,
it's mind-bogglingly stupid. There's so many variables that go into it, and then that's only if and even if everything goes perfect, you're still maybe looking at like a 3 4 month like build up.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a cakewalk like these boomers think it is. And what's so funny is that I'm sure Piers would think that it's like a cakewalk, but it's like, dude, it's exactly what I tweeted. I think you retweeted me. I really wanted the Crowder Nick interview to get contentious and for Crowder to say to Nick, why don't you just get married, you little gay incel? And Nick
Oh,
could
so
just
Crowder
easily
can't say that.
and Nick could easily counter and be like, well, look what happened to you, Steven. That's what I mean, we didn't know these things about Pierce's wife before the interview started, but it's like if Nick had known this, all he would have to turn to Piers and say, all he would have to do is turn to Piers and say, well, you're telling me all this, but look how you turned out, big guy. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
that's the point, is that marriage may seem like this cakewalk where you just meet the nice girl from next door and then you go to the ice cream social and now you got your wife and 5
You're
kids.
signing a lease together in month 3.
It's like, dude, no, your wife is like searching for pool boys live on Instagram and the pictures are still up. Like, spare me the marriage lecture. Forgive me for thinking that maybe marriage isn't optimal for young successful men right now. The women need to change. That's
Or
what
at least that it's something you can just accomplish by snapping your fingers.
right, right. And it goes back to like what we talk about on this show. It's like by and large, it is not a men problem. It is a female problem. Look at Pierce's wife. Look at the Instagram photos. That is a woman who is married to a man worth $30 million, and she is shitting on him on Instagram. Steph
It's
Curry, worth
the
$500 million.
stereotype. It's funny because like the Entourage, Van Wilder stereotype of guys were all wild, crazy, um, six chicks in our rotation at all times. I'm not selling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but that's true of these modern women.
that is true
They
of
all
women.
have inverted their own reality of that kind of like chauvinistic, like cartoonish personality
Right,
that they
right.
all do it, but it's. I don't even like saying it's like Sex in the City because it's actually worse.
Oh, it's much worse than Sex in the City.
It's much more worse and
Sex
just
in the City
it's
is Sex in the
is
City is tame compared to what
compared to
modern women
now.
are doing. Right, right. That is tame. Because the women in Sex in the City were looking for a man. The women today aren't they are,
They
but they
all. I
aren't.
mean, it's like, and then I have like a major theory that birth control is like one of the main reasons that lesbianism is so much higher with Zoomers and millennial women.
Hmm.
Where like unfortunately, like I see a lot of lesbian couples where it's like 2 8s or like a 9 and a 7 or like
Hmm.
in the rare case 2 9s, and it's just like this is actually worse
Yeah,
than
yeah.
gay dudes.
I think
Then
we talked about this with JF actually about the birth control thing. I might need to go back and
he
re-listen
kind
to
of
that.
disregarded when I brought it up,
Well,
but it's
yeah,
like
I remember that. It wasn't that he was disregarding, it's just that he thought that it was a bigger problem. That he was saying that like the issue with birth control wasn't so much like the scene
the
effects.
chemicals.
It's more the unseen. It's more the genius children that aren't being born
Yeah, and
because
well,
high
he
IQ
didn't
people.
fully
But
disagree with us, but he kind of
yeah,
didn't go like
I
the
know what
route
you
we.
mean.
But like
Right.
that's one thing I talk about where that's and see that's another thing. So not I could do a whole episode ranting on lesbians, but that's another thing the boomers don't get. And like a lot of these girl dads are like probably secretly gooning to their lesbian daughters.
Dude, that is a dirty thing to
It's
say,
a
but I
dirty thing to
completely
say,
agree.
but it's
I
like
agree. I know
there's truth to it. But like that's another thing. Boomers didn't have to deal with like attractive women of their day dating each other.
they didn't have to deal with being porn brained. Like
Exactly.
the rate at which a lot of these guys that's a whole the porn we need to keep watching. But yeah, the porn thing is a whole other thing because a lot of these girl dads have porn brain and there's something weird going on there. I'm not saying it's incestuous, but there is something weird there that Radfem Hitler was getting into that like a lot of the reason these dads are overprotective is because they subconsciously see themselves making a move when they were that age against their daughter. You know what
Well,
I
and you've
mean?
probably seen it, and like you've also probably seen it on TikTok too, where it's like it'll be like two, or maybe it's like an attractive young like Zoomer lesbian couple. It's like, oh, our dad is so supportive, and he's just like there doing a TikTok dance with them, and it's just like that's what I think will like kind of with the Rad Fem thing, where he's like almost in a weird gooner mode.
Yeah, yeah. I don't totally disagree with that. I don't have any evidence for that, but my instincts tell me that that's largely correct for sure. All right.
Followers, hang on. In that clip, you literally told followers, women, they get old, they get fat, they get ugly, they get very
true.
annoying. So where's the incentive to get married to women? There isn't one. You're actively telling them the opposite.
You're extrapolating a lot.
Just
We can
quoting
complain.
Just quoting you back yourself again.
No, but you're extrapolating and saying, well, you say women are annoying, so therefore, what's the incentive? We have to do it in spite of the fact that they are annoying. We have to do it in spite of the fact that they talk too much. We can get them to lose weight. We can put them on peptides. We can get them to the promised land.
I completely agree with that. I think that's a very prescient point. That
Yeah,
that like the idea that Nick is pushing people away from marriage.
he's not
I
though. I've
that used
never
to
seen
be
him.
that used to be one of my not even critiques, but when I was a little younger, I used to be like, well, why is he not telling his followers to get married? But then as I got older, what he said there really hit home. It's about doing it it's like working out. It's like it would be like Piers saying, "Well, you say working out is hard," and this is a bad example for Nick because he's like anti-working out, but like bigger picture, it would be like Piers telling someone, "Well, you keep telling people their muscles are going to be sore the day after they work out, so why would they work out? You're telling people to be obese." It's like, no, you work out in spite of the pain. You get
Yeah,
married in spite of what of the frankly the deck being stacked against you as a man, if we're being honest. But that's how I felt about my own marriage, if I'm being honest. When I got married, I was like, look, I think I'm making the right move. I trust the woman I'm marrying. I've done the due diligence on my end, but it is something that you do in spite of the risks because you're called to do it. What wife guys get wrong is they say that it's all flowers and roses on the other side, and every day is this. I just went to the flower patch with my sweetie, and my kids ran through the dandelions. It's like you are living in a Hallmark movie. You are not living in real life. And I can't stand that kind of stuff, man. It's not a realistic picture of marriage. And I think Piers is completely off the goop here. And Nick is right. It's something you do in spite of the challenges.
But it's going to be
Do
a
you think
little
this view of
annoying in the
women may be
meantime.
why none of them want to go near you?
Oh, you should see my DMs. It is quite the opposite. They're called the
woo.
boy bets, and I'm actually batting them away. Granted, not all of them are attractive. Some of them are attractive,
Are
but
you actually?
you'd be
Look, just
very
to clear
wrong
up,
about that.
one of the
And that's always the go-to also is like, and we've touched on this a bunch of times in the show, but like it's them spinning the wheel of like small PP, you're a chud, you're an incel, you've never even had sex. It's like, eh, dude, the way I view men, the respect level I have for a man, at least since I was maybe 17. When you're 17 and younger, you think of men in terms of like how much pussy do you get? Like,
Yeah, the
yeah,
entourage brain.
the entourage brain. After the age of 17, I stopped looking at men in the way of like I only listen to them if they get laid. That's again, like you said, it's very brown coded. It's like you're a Pakistani follower who
Yeah,
follows Andrew Tate,
exactly.
and it's like, dude, I don't have any less respect for Nick because he's not married or hasn't touched a vajayjay. It's like, dude, he's smart,
But
he's
also, like, I
correct.
don't know, maybe he has.
Yeah, I mean,
But he's just not
he,
like some
he wouldn't tell us. He wouldn't
some
tell us.
gooner that's just gonna like talk about it.
He wouldn't tell us about it. So we pretty much just need to act like it's never happened, you know. But yeah, I mean, none of the level of respect I have for men is based on like have they touched a
It's almost
vajayjay?
really gay if that's the way you look at it.
Exactly. That's what Nick was saying is that it is kind of gay to have this like it's like a female centric worldview. It's viewing yourself through the eyes of women and being like, if I'm attractive to women, that means that I'm a success in life. It's like actually a lot of those times are not only not related, they're actually like indirectly correlated. Like a lot of the
Yeah,
guys like Nick who just don't participate in that are like higher quality men than the average. St. Thomas Aquinas is another example that I would cite there. Okay.
many theories
Oh, it's
about you. I have
Aquinas.
no idea what the answer is.
Sorry, I butchered it earlier.
Oh, it's all good.
Said it. What I say,
Got to answer.
Aquinas or something.
That I didn't even notice, but yeah, whatever.
Just to
Very
clear
wrong
up, just to
about
clear up one of the many theories about you, I've no idea what the answer is, and you haven't got to answer. But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay.
No. But I will say that women are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So
I love that Nick added in the but to that. He's like, I'm not gay, but women suck. It's like
And
I
it's not
agree.
wrong to
He's
say.
not wrong. I love that, but I love that he like makes it almost more difficult for himself. Like he stays so true to himself that he couldn't just leave it as like, I'm not gay. He had to say, I'm not gay, but women do suck. I love that. Like he's correct. Even an honest married guy would tell you that. I will tell you that. Yeah, like I love my wife, but like she's kind of annoying sometimes. Like I've told her that. I love this honesty.
there's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
This holiday
Oh my
season, you
gosh.
can count on
Ads, dude. Let me cite something St. Thomas said, actually. This is from Christian B. Wagner. Great Catholic account, by the way. SW, are you good on time? Do we still have time?
Yeah, I got a little bit of time.
Okay. We can probably wrap this up in the next like 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, Christian Wagner said, St. Thomas Aquinas, this is from William of Tocco. Aquinas always found the sight of women abhorrent. He avoided their company and conversation as far as he was able. Equally, he was sincerely astonished at given to censure other men devoted to theological study who habitually wasted their time in long convos with women, unless it was occasioned by some necessity or business of the highest importance, or prompted by an urgent discussion of God or spiritual truths. I mean, look, this is widely considered one of the most intelligent Catholic theologians of all time, probably one of the most intelligent philosophers of all time. This is actually the opinion that was held by most philosophers about women. So this idea that like you need to have a woman glued to your hip is ridiculous. Aquinas, who is a saint, didn't believe that, and I think we should follow his
Henpecked.
lead.
That's the problem. You're talking
Expert in women,
free love.
given you've never got
I'm a
women grow
fossil.
old, they all get.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hold on, let's go
Women
back.
are very
Hold on.
difficult to be around.
Okay.
So there's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
How did we get there?
I do not. No, absolutely not.
They should
Because
stay.
he knows it's a good soundbite for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There was just no reason to go there, but I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously Nick is correct. I think universal suffrage as an idea is a horrible idea. Like it's not really just about the women. It's about like everybody who doesn't either have skin in the game or is too low IQ, doesn't own property, doesn't have assets. Like anyway, he's obviously correct about that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So basically, you're just a misogynist old dinosaur, aren't you?
This is funny. Listen to this. Listen how Piers tries to frame this. He thinks this is a win. He goes, "You're just an old dinosaur, aren't you?" Like these boomers have this weird brain virus where they think if everybody in the room isn't agreeing with you, if the room starts pointing and laughing at you, then you're objectively wrong. That's the tone that Piers has here. It's so boomerfied.
For a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm the
Yeah.
boomer. I know I'm the boomer here, but actually, you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Aren't you, Nick Fuentes? All women.
I am.
All women are annoying. All
I'm a
women grow
fossil.
old. They all get fat. Says the guy. Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Says the guy who's never got laid.
That's
Wow.
the thing, though. You boomers,
It's such an outdated thing. Like
It really is, and it's
It's
also
so-
just like
I feel like he's
he's
picking
just
up an
becoming
old book.
petty.
It's like he's picking up an old piece of clothing from the attic covered in dust and like hitting it, and dust is flying off. Like, you never even have sex, have you? It's like, dude, we are so beyond that. We are so beyond that, you
And
know?
also, what does that have to do with his opinions on anything?
Right. But it's this boomer thing where where they're living through their own high school years again, where like, hey, that guy hasn't held hands with a girl yet. Go laugh at him. It's like, dude, the class is no longer laughing with you. The joke is over. Like Nick is making you look foolish, actually. And the only kind of people I could think of, I don't know if you would agree with this, but like the only kind of people I can think of who would like agree with this and laugh and go, ha ha ha, he hasn't even gotten laid, is like a porn brained, like
It's very
40.
Reddity porn brain.
Yeah, it's so porn brained. And I forget that like these people exist, honestly. Like I operate exclusively like in the right wing sphere of Twitter and my social media.
It reminds me of like the Reddity type where they're like not a good looking dude, not with a not good looking girlfriend, and they're like the only thing they've ever accomplished is they pulled, so they're just like, yeah, I get laid. How about
Right.
you?
Well, and it also reminds me of like the thing we were talking about earlier about having kids not actually being that hard and getting married not being like winning a Nobel Peace Prize or developing like the V2 rocket. It's like it's actually not that hard. I know this is like I don't know if this is controversial. If you're a young guy, it's actually not that hard to like get laid. Like there are
No,
women like it's not it's like that's actually not that impressive. Frankly, getting married is more impressive than getting laid.
it's far more impressive
Like
because
because you
you can always just hang out at a bar till 2 a.m. and it's not going to be that hard. But like to
no,
actually, hell, like I would say like getting a second or third date's almost harder than getting
then getting
married.
laid. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. I would agree with you there. It's just this complete like non-matching of ideas. Like, dude, it's not hard. He's lecturing him about not having gotten laid. Look, man, Nick is a multimillionaire, and I am glazing a little bit, just going to keep it a buck. He's a multimillionaire. He's world famous. He's not quite a household name, but girls on TikTok, your average 20-year-old who scrolls TikTok knows who Nick Fuentes is. My 18-year-old cousin in college, who's very sheltered, is asking me, "What's up with this Nick Fuentes guy?" They are like they know who he is. Like it would not be a challenge for him to go to a bar and take a girl home. And Piers is acting like you haven't even done that. It's like, dude, like I said, we're just beyond that. It's ridiculous.
It's
You think you're an
always get
expert in
laid,
women,
free
given you've
love.
never got laid?
Yeah, we are going back to the Stone Age. You're absolutely right. You're talking about empathy and your kids are empathetic and they would never laugh at a joke about the Holocaust and you're a misogynist. You're a simp yourself. You're totally henpecked. That's the problem.
And that right there, I think, kind of sent Pierce because it's such good intuition on Nick's part. Nick didn't even know the things that, like, the things about Pierce's wife only came out after the interview. Wurzelroot only posted that after the interview. Nick is saying this just based purely off reflex. He's like, "You're henpecked. You're a wife guy." He clocked it. He was right. Based on what we've seen, he is 100% correct about Piers Morgan being a wife guy simp. That's why he takes umbrage with this. That's why he gets so annoyed by the fact that there's like a free nigga talking, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's these wife guys, man. That the quickest way to spot a wife guy is just talk shit about marriage and see and watch them cringe. Watch them
Or
squirm.
just say a general statement about women.
Yeah. And then if they are a wife guy, they'll say, "No, no, my wife is awesome, man. My wife is amazing. I don't know what you're talking about." That means that you're cucked. You're done. So yeah, dude.
So
Let,
yeah,
let
we
me
are
play.
going
Let me
back to the
play
way things are.
another clip of yours about women.
A lot of women want to be raped, and when I say raped, I mean like that sounds bad when I say it like that. But there's like a lot of women that really want a guy to beat the shit out of them. But also they have to pretend, but part of it is they have to pretend like they don't.
You think women want to be raped, do
Okay.
you?
Okay. Well, you know what? For this, I wasn't going to do this, but we're going to have to do it. Um, if I can find it
What's funny, the like
in a reasonable amount of time. No,
the
go.
"Your Body, My Choice" clip that was going around was so funny because like he was totally trolling, but there were so many people who were freaked out. Remember that when he what was the line he said? It was like "Your body, my choice" or something.
Yes, on election night,
And
he
there
had
were
the your
so
body,
many
my
people
choice.
who took it so literally, and there were a number of just dorky dudes who were posting that like I condemn this type of language.
Yeah, yeah, that was very disgusting. I really can't stand that kind of thing from guys.
Well,
Here it is.
it was one of his best trolls.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That got like over like 100 million views or something on Twitter. Um, so yeah, here's the actual tweet, or here's the actual study. This was done by the National Institute of Health in the UK. And the study evaluated rape fantasies of female undergrads using a fantasy checklist that reflected the legal definition of rape and sexual fantasy log that included systemic prompts and self ratings. Results indicated that 62% of women have had a rape fantasy, which is somewhat higher than previous estimates. For women who have had a rape fantasy, the median frequency of these fantasies was about 4 times a week, with 14% of participants saying that they had rape fantasies at least once a week. In contrast to previous research, this is the important part, which suggested that rape fantasies were either entirely aversive or entirely erotic. Rape fantasies were found to exist on an erotic aversive continuum with only 9%, that's why I highlighted it in red, 9% completely aversive. 45 found it completely erotic. 46% found it both erotic and aversive. Out of the study, only 9% said, no, never. That is completely gross. I do not like that. That is something I would never fantasize about. 91% said, well, I think it's kind of
What
gross,
does he look like?
but it's kind of hot also. Like, is it like 50 Shades of Grey? Is it it's not the but like, and what I always get to on Twitter when I talk about this, I get a lot of heat for this. When we talk about rape fantasies, we're not talking about a woman fantasizing about getting dragged into an alley by some homeless bum with a knife at their neck. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 50 Shades of Grey and how women do want to be dominated.
They're
That is
imagining it's Jacob Elrodi or whatever his name is.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's what they're fantasizing about. So to act like women don't think about that at all is ridiculous. Of course they do. And Piers' complete boomer mode is like, you think that they fantasize about that? Yeah, the studies back that up, man. I don't know what to tell you.
That's what the studies show, Piers. That is what these
But that's
statistics
what you
say.
believe,
They
is
have
it?
fantasies. They have fantasies about it. I don't think that they want to actually get raped.
Right.
But there's a study out there. Get ready for this. It says 62% of women have rape fantasies. And if you read anything that they're reading,
That's actually underselling it. Like the reason I like that Nick is citing that, and Crowder cited that stat also in their talk. Crowder said, "Yeah, women want." Crowder cited the study that I did there. He said 62% of women have rape fantasies. I tweeted, I said, "That's a good point that you're bringing up, but that's actually underselling it. It's actually 91 because only 9% found it completely aversive." You know what I mean?
if you
Oh
watch
yeah.
what they're watching, what do you think 50 Shades of Grey is about? What do you think Twilight is about? I mean, that's just true.
You think women want to have the shit beaten out of them, as you said?
Yeah, and it's very disturbing, but it's true.
Do you think your views on women might change if you actually ever had a relationship with one or had sex and actually had a proper relationship? I mean, people say the reason you're so angry about women is you're basically an incel.
Well, I'm not angry about it.
You sound very angry. You sound very, very angry about women. They get
I'm passionate.
I don't think he sounds angry. I don't know if you
No,
disagree,
he's
but
just
like,
being matter of fact.
yeah, I don't think, and that's always what they try to do is they try to paint you as like angry or like, well, and Piers did this earlier. He said, well, it's just because you can't get laid. That's why you're saying this about women. It's like, as if the only reason I would feel this way about women is because I'm mad that I'm not participating in that. It's like, I'm mad because of the state of society. I think you can probably agree with this. I'll say this in the most polite way I can. High school and my early mid 20s, high school through my early and mid 20s, I'll just say this was not it was not a challenge to meet young women. I'll just put it that way. Um, that was that wasn't hard. I'm not some angry incel who's never felt a woman's love. It's like,
It's because
no.
we go out and have actually met these women in real life and had conversations with them. And it's why they're annoying.
If anything, my successful experience with women has led me to these beliefs that, like, oh, they do actually want you to leave them on red. They do actually want you to be a little distant. They do want you to be a little dominant, actually, not even a little, like very dominant. Um, that's just true. And I've seen that with guys that I've known my whole life who think the opposite. They think that if they're a sweetie who shows up to their job with flowers, then they're going to get a girlfriend. No, dude, I'm sorry to tell you, it is not like that. And Nick is correct, and Piers is the simp, and you can tell that by how his marriage turned out. That's all you need to know.
That
It's an issue
you're
I'm
not
passionate
passionate. You're,
about.
you're actually you're sounding very bitter about women, as if women have done a terrible disservice to you. But when you don't have relationships, you don't have sex, when are they doing these terrible things to you that's made you?
He's really jumping the gun there. He's like, so you're angry about women, but when have
You
women ever
can't
been
be mad
horrible?
about somebody getting murdered because it wasn't you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. That's a very good analogy. It's like he doesn't have to have something bad happen to him to feel this way. This is a if you're over 115 IQ and analyzing gender dynamics in the big 2025, you're going to find the same things that Nick is finding. It's not, it is not for lack of being married, Piers. Actually, he should be as angry as Piers if he were married because Piers got a raw deal with his wife. His wife's trying to
Yeah.
bang the pool boy. Nick, honestly, if Nick were married and felt this way, him and Piers might be best friends, actually. You know what I mean? Because they could relate about how their wife screwed them over. Luckily, Nick isn't in that boat because he didn't do that?
So hateful towards women? I'm really curious.
Was that? I don't think that was a hateful clip. I think I was laughing. I said they want men to beat the shit out of them, and that's just true. I mean, when you look at the state of modern women, all they do.
Oh my gosh. These ads, man. We're almost done. We're gonna wrap this up. Do you have like 10 minutes?
But yeah, I can make that work.
If you need to jump off, I can
Well,
do
I'm
this.
on the fence because it just started snowing and it's like wintry mix, and I don't want to have to drive all the way over across the county to this stupid like
No,
Christmas party.
dude, go. We're good. No worries at all.
Is
No
So
worries
I'm
at all.
mentally fighting with myself about doing
No,
this.
no worries. I'll wrap this up. It was a good convo. We got like 2 hours in of you and I talking, and I'll wrap this up. No worries at all,
Oh, it's
man.
funny. It's one of those Christmas parties where, like, so it's a customer of mine. He has one every year, and every year I've bailed on it, so I finally feel bad.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the one time, and then now I'm like, ah.
No, dude,
You-
if anything, I want you to be safe. Like, I don't want you driving when it's snowy and dark. So, yeah,
Well, it's
dude.
funny because I've been along with you, so I just looked out the window and it's not even snowing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. By all means, I'm good. I probably only have like 10 minutes left, so it's no problem at all, man. All right. I'll keep going, and if you need to drop off, no worries at all, man.
Sounds good.
lay in their bed, doom scroll, they're chilling out. They're getting a little look, they're getting a little fat. It is what it is. I don't know what the average weight is, but they're getting a little heavy. And any guy that is playing the field these days will tell you that. I mean, and I know a lot of the Chads. I am an incel. I'm friends with a lot of Chads like Bradley Martin, Clavicular. They agree with me. You know, there's sort of like this alliance between the guys that don't have sex and the guys that get the most sex. We know what women are about. It's the guys in the middle.
That is so
That's a good
unbelievably
point.
true. That is unbelievably true.
The
That is
strivers.
the striver. It's that middle striver because I get along with people who either don't get girls or who are incredibly successful. It's the people in the middle that have this face that look at that disgust look on Piers's face. He's like, "What is he talking about? This is disgusting." It's because you worship the cat. It's because you worship your wife, dude. That is why she treats you that way because she knows you worship her. This face is going to get like a compliant demure 10 and have like 10 kids. This face is going to get you a wife that asks for the pool boy to do after hour service. That's what's going on there.
Guys like you in the middle, it's the beta male
Guys like
orbiters
you,
that say,
guys like you in the middle. That's what I just
Damn.
hey, she's amazing. You're a misogynistic pig because I don't know what that is.
He's really talking to Piers directly there. Look at this. Look at these eyes. He's like about to cry. He's like, "What? How dare you say that about me?" It's like he knows that Nick is get onto something there, you know.
She's amazing. You're a misogynistic pig because I don't know what that is. I guess
Well, come
they're
on. Let me
desperate.
explain to you. Let me explain to you what I think it is. I think when a 27-year-old guy who's never got laid, never had a meaningful relationship with a woman, says that women shouldn't be allowed to vote, they should stay at home, that all they do is fantasize about being raped and being beaten up. That's what they want. That they're annoying, that they get fat, that they get ugly. That's a misogynist. Now, you may not understand it because your knowledge of women is so incredibly tiny, but actually, you are the embodiment of a misogynist. It couldn't be clearer. And if I was a, you know, in a way, you have the deep-rooted misogyny of some of the actual boomers I know.
Deep-rooted misogyny. Deep-rooted misogyny. That is something that only a person over the age of 40 would say. Deep-rooted.
Or a girl who's in college.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's a good point. An older boomer who's actually believes what they're saying, or some under 20 girl who would say like deep-rooted misogyny. Like he doesn't even know what he's saying. This isn't,
He's just repeating what he thinks what the cool kids say.
and he's repeating subconsciously what he thinks will lead to sexual success for himself. In the back of his mind, he's
That
thinking,
cute girl at Oxford isn't going to go for
yes,
him. She's going to me too you, Pierce.
yes, yes, exactly. But he's also hoping that if he really strikes down the true misogynist, then maybe his wife will give him some good boy points tonight. And maybe his wife will I'm not going to be graphic, but he hopes he can turn in one of his sex coupons and his wife will say, "Okay, here you go. Have at
Not
it."
tonight. Not on
Yeah,
weekends.
not on weekends and not through 8 through 5 and not if you've had more than 2 drinks.
And no holidays.
And no holidays. Maybe your birthday if you're a good boy.
Yeah, here you are, 27 years old. And most of the current studies show that a lot of men are really disenfranchised from society, no longer have physical relationships with women if they've ever had them, never associate with.
Yeah, I mean, they keep saying that, and I've noticed Tucker and Megyn Kelly have been saying that a lot, is that, and Pierce is doing the same thing, saying that they're trying to like piggyback on men's struggles. So they're saying like, well, young men don't go on dates and they aren't getting
But
laid
it's
and they're
their
not
fault.
exactly. The difference with what Nick and me and you are saying is that yes, that is true, but that's the fault of women. That is not the fault of men. And sure, I'm sure you could find some finance bro in New York who's like, I'm never getting married. Okay, sure, I'm sure that exists. But the reality is that the nature of women has changed. So these things that Pierce is saying that, oh, they don't go on dates, it's like, yeah, because the women are career driven and they're whores on birth control and SSRIs. That's what's
Yep.
going on. It's not for any lack of trying from men. And men are just now starting to correctly say, you know what? I'm out. I'm gonna go secure my bag, and then I'll get a hotter, younger one in 10 years. And that's why the
Yeah,
women freak out so much about the age of consent discourse.
Women and build up instinctively misogynist views about women. And I fear you're in that position.
Oh,
You're just a bit of a lonely guy who wants to get laid and can't.
I love the fake support. I love the fake reaching out. Like, I fear that you're falling for that. Yeah, you really care
you're
a
just a
lot
good
about
guy. I'm trying to help you.
you really care a lot about Nick and his followers, Piers. Yeah, I'm sure.
For whatever reason. And it's made you bitter about women. And I don't know where that's come from, but it's fascinating.
No. See, here's the thing. First of all, you're very caught up in the labels. It's always, you're a racist, you're a misogynist.
You said you
these
were
words
a racist.
mean nothing to me. Well, hang
You
on.
gave
Whoa,
yourself.
Can I respond?
You gave
Hey,
yourself the label.
What is this?
You said, I am a racist. I didn't give you the label.
Okay.
You said, Nick Fuentes, I am a racist.
Calm down. Calm down.
Did you or didn't you?
It's okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
here's
I
the
didn't
thing.
give you the label. You did.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because you're trying
Why
to
are you
infer
screaming at
something.
me?
That is so real, like breaking the fourth wall. I love that. Why are you yelling at me? Why are you yelling at me right now? That is so perfect fourth wall. And Pierce has to kind of take a step back and be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why am I so angry about this? It's because you're the guy. You're the guy who's being attacked right now. That's why you reflexively respond in this like outsized response. And you are misogynist. It's because you are feeling attacked right now, Piers. Not to go full Stefan right now, but I am going to go full Molyneux. How is your relationship with your mother, Piers? How is your relationship with your wife? Like, we do need to be honest here that Molyneux was onto something. That's why he feels so attacked, you know?
That didn't happen. You said, I gave you the label of being a racist. No,
you
did. You said, I'm a racist. You gave yourself the label.
You're going to have to tone it down a little, all right? You're going to have to bring it down a notch and relax. This is just an interview, okay? Please calm down. All I said is you're hung up. I didn't say you gave me that. Maybe I did.
You did.
But here's what I mean.
He didn't.
What
He
I mean
actually
is,
didn't.
okay. What I mean is you're just hung up on proving you're a misogynist. Okay, you're a racist. Okay, you denied the Holocaust. And I'm not about the labels,
You
man.
didn't deny
I'm
the
just
Holocaust.
past that.
As I said to you, look, Nick, as I said to you, I just wanted to go over the stuff that you know everyone uses out there about you and get you to respond. And we are getting, I think, a long way in this interview. Right?
Okay.
You didn't deny the Holocaust. You accepted there's been a Holocaust of at least 6 million Jews.
I'm a maximalist. I'm a Holocaust.
That is significant.
I think it's more.
You did admit you're a racist.
So I don't know if you caught this part of the interview, but Piers tried to corner Nick earlier in the interview and asked, do you believe that 6 million died in the Holocaust? Okay. And Nick said, oh, I think it was at least 6 million. I think it may have been 8 to 10. It may even be 100 times more that. And Piers didn't catch the joke. And Piers was Piers said,
yes.
No, exactly. Piers said, well, your followers will be shocked to hear that you no longer deny the Holocaust. And Nick was just like egging him on. He was like, it was at least 6 million. It may have been 600 million. And Piers was like, well, that it could be that. Like, he didn't catch the joke.
Oh man,
it was an all-time thing. We gotta watch that sometime. I think this is wrapping up. This is wrapping up.
I do got to get going now.
Oh yeah, by all means, man. Hey, good talk.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll talk about Saturday. I'll be around.
If you guys want to follow SW on Twitter, it's at Snowmed, SNOWMED 34. And we'll be back on Saturday. I'm gonna keep going, but thanks for joining, man.
Sounds good. Take care, man.
All right, later.
You have spelled out a thought process about women, which is the purest definition of misogyny that I've ever seen. And you said you're not gay. So we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Well, look, and I own the labels, okay? But I just don't care that much about them.
That's fine.
I feel like the whole...
I'm not saying
this is like a weird...
I'm not saying you have to care. Nick, you don't have to care about any of it. I promise you. Right? That's not why I got you on the show. I wanted to give you a fair crack, which I think I have. We've gone.
He wanted to give him a fair crack. That's so ridiculous. Like, I don't think he was trying to be fair throughout this. I think this was meant to try to corner Nick, and it just didn't work. And yeah, I mean, it's everybody can see this interview for what it is. It's very funny.
Over a lot of stuff.
I agree.
We've got a bit more to go on. I genuinely don't think I've ambushed you with anything you couldn't have been expecting.
No.
I don't think I've been
No, not at
overtly
all.
hostile. In fact, when you've asked me to calm down, I've calmed down. I don't want to have a hostile, angry, shouty match with you.
Nick's so funny.
To calm down.
Look at this. Nick acknowledges that like Piers cucked to him a little bit, so he's like, "When you told me to calm down, I calmed down." Nick goes, "Good boy.
I've calmed down. I don't want to have a hostile,
You're a good boy."
angry, shouty match with you. I simply want you to spell out exactly what you've meant about all these things, and people can then be the judge of them. So let's take another break, and we'll come back and talk about.
All right. Well, on that note, I think now that SW is gone, I'm probably going to wrap it up as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, just a quick to put a bookmark in the gender stuff. Yeah, just don't listen to people like Piers. The people who are telling you that like you're a misogynist, you're hateful to women, like whatever, I don't even know what the critique is. The people who talk like that are the most henpecked. They're the most cucked. People like Piers. We already looked at what his wife says about him in international media. She says that he's weak, she doesn't want to be with him, all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be like Pierce, then follow his advice. Simple as. Um, yeah. Well, probably tomorrow I'm gonna upload the Coleman Hughes analysis video. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Twitter at Jordan B Jordan B videos VIDE0S. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be back tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.